Hello, everyone. So excited to be here today. I see a big smile on Dr. Terainer Brown's face. I'm so excited.
Me
I just
too.
want to I just want to welcome everyone to this very special discussion about cultured for college and so much more. Thank you all so much for joining us live, and thanks to those who will watch this later. It's going to be great. You can watch it over and over if you like. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Blair Norman, and I call myself a dance and wellness guide. And that's because I try to share the importance of wellness in all aspects of our lives. And my particular niche happens to be through dance, but it's all really about finding that joy in whatever way feels authentic to us. But the reason Dr. Terainer Brown, my special guest, I'll call you today, the reason she asked me to chat with her is because we have a true connection, right? And not only because we're Detroit girls and we go way back to our college dance days, but also because I'm a mom just like her. And we both, of course, care deeply about the upbringing of our children and their path to success. And, thinking around that starts really early, right?
That's
Terainer?
right. That's right.
So, even in our toddlers, we got little ones.
Yeah.
I want to begin by really introducing you. Dr. Terainer Brown is a personal growth development and preparation strategist and serves as an expert college and career planner. She is the author of Milani Rose and Company book series, which I cannot wait to talk about. We'll get there. And the founder of Cultured for College, which is right. So, which is an organization that calls communities to action by encouraging adults to seek opportunities to guide the next generation to transition and thrive in college and or a career beyond high school. And that and or is important, right?
Yes, it is.
And that is because, each path is unique to each individual child.
That's right.
So Dr. Brown, I want you to tell us about you, tell us about your brand, tell us about your mission. And before we even do that, I just want to remind everyone that you can comment, give us feedback, ask questions along the way. It's going to be a great discussion, so feel free to interact with us.
Yes.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Blair. I was just saying right before we went live that it brings me so much joy to be able to share this space with you. Blair and I have been friends for a very long time. And so this is just really just an honor. So thank you so much. Who am I, right? I'm a wife, I'm a mother, an educator, now an author, speaker, motivational speaker, really, and someone just committed. I'm someone that's really just committed to empowering our next generation. And encouraging as many people as I can to do the same. It's really important that we take opportunities that we have to pour into the next generation. And so I'm here to just be the encourager, right? Encouraging people to find opportunities to do so along the way. It's brought me so much joy over the past, 15, 20 years or so to work in education, right? I've done community education. I've taught dance. I have worked as a middle and high school teacher, also teaching dance and really loving that opportunity to pour into those students. I've had a chance to work at the university, for about 10 years now. And same thing, right? Just opportunities along the way to really take some space and connect with the next generation. Most recently founded the Culture for College organization. And I think you did really a fantastic job, Blair, talking about the organization. That's exactly it. It's encouraging adults to find space, to create some space. We're all busy. We're all very busy, but, creating space where you can to plug in and connect with that next generation. And so the Milani Rose and Company book series, which is out today, I'll talk about that in a little bit, is a really great way for those of us who have young children. My daughter is 8 years old, my son is 3, really looking for a creative opportunity to encourage her to think about what life looks like as an adult.
Right.
And so my hope is that through the Milani Rose and Company book series, other families will be inspired and find some ways to connect as well.
That sounds so good. Now, speaking of connecting, let's connect with you a little bit. What really encouraged you to really do this in the first place? What was it? Was it people around you? What were you seeing? What really caused you to do this?
That's right. So I am from Detroit, as Blair mentioned, and I love my city. I love my community. Wherever I am in the world, I am still a Detroit girl at heart. And I have been so inspired, quite honestly, by a number of my friends who are seeking guidance, who are finding creative ways to get their student. I'm actually going to call one person out. I didn't even tell her I was going to do this, but my friend Maisha from high school, right? She's got a daughter. Her daughter wanted to open this snack bar. She wrote on this little piece of paper many years ago, I want to open up a snack bar, and it's, Maddie's Snack Bar, which I often, will just support, even though I'm this far away, because I so admire that, right? Finding an opportunity to pour into your child in a really intentional way. It's not always about taking them to a college campus, which I think is important. It's also finding ways to just connect with the things that they're passionate about and support those. And so Maisha, just a shout out to you. I've been waiting a while to be able to do this. I think you're doing such a wonderful job as a mom, and in particular, helping to support your daughter's dreams. So moments like that have inspired me, quite honestly. And so really just, wanting to build some momentum around that and create a space where we can get together and talk story, as we like to call it here in Hawaii, right? And, create some energy around pouring into the lives of the children that we have in our lives.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm away from home too, but I still say I'm a Detroit girl at
heart. Born and raised.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. So I want to go back to the idea of this, the what you just shared about your relationship with your friend Maisha, right?
Sure.
You want to pour into her daughter. I mean, it's not just about you and your particular family, but there's this village, right? I love the idea. Yeah, I love the idea of it takes a village. It sounds so important to me. And I'm going to be, real right quick and just say that, my parents, for example, neither of them finished their higher education until I was already grown, right? So I had to explore college the best that I could. I was on my journey with a lot of uncertainty, and it was a challenge for me.
That's right.
So now here I am as a mother, right? And yes, I have a spouse, and and he and I together, we're going to navigate this path for our children together, and their path to success. But the idea that there's a resource, which is what we're talking about today, to help guide me on this path, to help my child to their path of success, it's so important. And I really connect with what you're doing here because of that. So with that in mind, let's dive into Cultured for College organization first, and then we're gonna save the Milani Rose book series for last.
That's right.
So tell us what Cultured for College is all about.
Sure. Cultured for College, you hit the nail right on the head. It is meant to be a resource for families and the students that are in their lives, for educators, for community leaders that want an opportunity to pour into children. Maybe they're not sure how to do it. And over time, we will release materials and have webinars and things of that nature that will help guide and give some direction on just how to do that. It is so important to recognize, as we've talked about before, Blair, it really does take an entire village to culture a student for success. Mm-hmm. And sometimes students have that college counselor who's amazing. And sometimes that college counselor that wants to be amazing, right, is they're spent. They have so many competing priorities that they really don't have time to do some of the programming that they want to do. So finding, creating this organization that, again, encourages everybody, the businesses that are in the neighborhood, the relatives who are retired and maybe have a little bit more time than the parents that are, working the 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job, dinner, bath. I mean, just all the things that homework, co-curricular activities, right. Finding, and the list goes on and on and on. So pouring into that next generation and creating an opportunity, creating a resource for folks to be able to go to, mm-hmm. to really think about, gosh, if I'm a family member, right? My mm-hmm. children are adults. How do I support that next generation? Right. If I have a small business or a large business, mm-hmm. and I want to create something for young people, how do I do that? If I'm an educator, I'm showing up every day, right? I'm giving these kids all I have, but right. Are there other things that I can do to really help these young people, K through 12, mm-hmm. think about college and or career? Because for so long, we've relied on the school counselor, right? That's the one person in the building that's really supposed to be thinking about that transition, those 21st century post-secondary skills. And what I'm proposing here is that it is everybody's responsibility.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so when you were just saying that, you were really calling out different groups of people, right?
Yes.
And so your organization will help students and families, yes. Educators, yes. Basically community and business leaders.
Exactly.
So let's talk about how you do that for each. Let's start with business and community leaders.
Yes. So I had a conversation with my mom today. They're always so much fun. And we were talking about her going to get some work done on her vehicle. Okay. And she said, there was a young man who was in the building, and he was asking questions about, like, what are those mechanics back there doing? And he said, can I just go and take a peek? What if there was some kind of a program at that place of business where there was a sign on the door, hey, interested in becoming a mechanic? Ask to see, Mike, for an example, right? Giving just kids some kind of if this is something that you're interested in, someone in here is willing to talk to you. I really admire that young man for saying, what, can I just take a peek at what's going on? But how, as small businesses, as larger companies and corporations, how can we start to facilitate some of those outreach efforts, right? Where students can recognize businesses as a place where they can reach out to, not in college after you've already started, right. Not after you've gone to trade school and then you go and do an internship. What about creating opportunities for students to try that stuff on for size before they even graduate?
Yep.
Perhaps we make some better choices about what our transition looks like.
Yes, that is so good. I mean, it gives, businesses and community leaders a role in this path, right?
That's right.
They have an opportunity to impart to children very young, all the way up through 12th grade. So absolutely. I think that's great. All right, so let's talk about students and families.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is where a lot of this started for me, honestly, right? I have worked with students and families. My own children are younger, but I've been so blessed over the years to be able to pour into the lives of other people's children and bring the family along with them. I am also, Blair, the first person in my house to transition and go on to college. I've told a little bit of my story before, but my mother, very hardworking. The college trajectory was not the path for her, but she encouraged me. Yes. And so really what I want to say here is that families, parents, you all matter most. The school, I think as a community, right? I just want to say this for a second. We rely so much on the schools. And while the schools are there to academically prepare the students for that next step, that is not all students need in order to be able to be successful as an adult. And I'm not just talking about how to do housework, right? But it's also how to think about setting yourself up professionally, which is going to look different for every kid.
That's right.
I want to acknowledge in this moment, yes, the title of my organization is Culture for College. I don't think college is the right choice for every child. And so students that are, and I say students because as parents, right, you also have to think of your children as your student in some ways. You are their first teacher and really matter most in the conversation. I say that to my children. And as I've coached and worked with families over the years, that shift in mindset, yes, this is my child, but in this moment, I'm the teacher. I've got something to teach them, right? I know more about life. I've made some mistakes. I've figured some things out. I went back and started school later, right? So thinking of your child as a student as well. And so I do have some workshops that will be coming up in 2022 that will provide just a little bit more about how to do that. But if parents and family members are interested in learning just big picture, starting to think about, okay, what does this mean for me? They can visit the Students and Families page on the Culture for College website. And it gives just a little bit of information. Follow me at Dr. Terainer Brown on the different, the various social media platforms. And I'm sharing information there as well.
You know what? Since you went ahead and brought that up, let's just go over that. So on social media, they can find you as?
Yes. So www.terainerbrown.com. That's my personal page. You can get to everything I do from there.
Okay.
And then the Culture for College organization is www.cultureforcollege.com.
Okay.
And then social media, you can follow me at drterainerbrown.com. And again, you can get to anything that I'm a part of from that one centralized place.
Okay. If you didn't catch that, Dr. Terainer Brown. She's a doctor. I love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, so you were talking about, parents, being teachers as well. So let's move on to educators, right? So the teachers in the school, the educators, what will you provide for them?
Yes, so much to say there. I really enjoyed my time teaching middle and high school. And one opportunity I had as a high school teacher was to serve as like a resource room advisor. So this was an opportunity for seniors who had completed a lot of their credits. They could take like a study hall. It could have been seen as a little bit of a waste of time. And all of those of us who have taught high school, we know that to be true. But what if there was some curriculum that could be followed that would help educators recollect their own experiences in college? What are all these offices? Who are all these people, right? In high school, we have a counselor. You have a question about classes, go see your counselor. Your stomach is hurting, like go see your counselor. You're feeling anxious, go see your counselor. Those are 3 offices on campus, right? And so trying to help educators recollect their own experiences. And for some, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? For some, that was a long time ago. So I will do some educator workshops next year. I'll publish that calendar again on the website and through social media. But there will be a couple of resources that we'll just share through social media. The Milani Rose and Company series is where I started. I have an elementary school child in my house, also a preschool, so student, which makes my life really exciting. But I did, in terms of educator programming, I started with elementary school. High school felt really comfortable because I've done so much of that work. But I really wanted to take a creative approach, thinking about my conversations with my own daughter and, finding ways to share some of that. So the Milani Rose and Company series was my in to supporting that group.
Okay, so since you brought up Milani Rose, I think it's time. And this is where I get kind of giddy because I'm like, My friend is a published author and it's so exciting, and I can't wait to see the book in my hands. So
Yes.
let's talk about, that series, what it's going to be, what it is, when we can purchase, how soon,
Yes.
where, all of those good things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So excited about Milani Rose and Company. Milani Rose is this dynamic 5th grade girl. She's got a group of friends called The Company. And Milani always has a bright idea to explore a career. And for those of us that have 8, 9, 10-year-olds around, you know this to be true. Every other day, they want to be something different, from a truck driver to the president of the United States. And so as a parent and as an educator and as someone who has done this work, it's so important to just go with the conversation, right? And not try to derail their creativity and their curiosity about the world. Because we as parents want our children to grow up and be comfortable,
right?
And not have them return home and ask for things as adults, right? We want them to be self-sufficient is really what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And what we know about the way our society is set up, there are certain jobs that seemingly will give you a better life than others. And so we tend to, and I'm talking about right in our community, we tend to say, right, you can go to school, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an engineer, you can, there are maybe a couple of other jobs that you can consider
that stand out. Yeah, we all
that
know.
really stand out, that we all know. And I think those are fantastic choices for careers.
Right.
I have friends that do all of those things,
right.
but those are not the only considerations.
That's right.
And in fact, really, when we listen to children, they will give us a lot of clues about what they're hoping to do.
Right.
And so I really wanted to unpack some of the conversations I have with my own daughter and encourage parents to go along this journey with their child, right? Child has a really creative idea to be on the news, right? So how do you just go along with that and play with them in that conversation to get them excited and curious? And then you put on your adult hat and you do some research, right?
That's right.
Help them start to think about things that really connect their talent and their skills and their interests with the profession. Are there people that you can introduce them to that maybe are right in your community? Can you call the news network and say, hey, do you all have opportunities for children to come and visit the station? Right. So you put your adult lens and your adult hat on the experience, not the other way around. So.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your characters. You want to just tell us about them?
Yes.
Okay.
So 4 characters. The characters are there are 2 girls. There's Milani and her best friend Harper.
Okay.
And then we have James, and then we have Bane. So Harper, again, Milani's best friend. She wants to be a physician. Her mother is a nurse. She has no desire to work in a really, really busy place, but the idea of helping people and working in the medical professions really excites her. And so we play around with that a little bit in the book. Then we have James, who is the tallest of the group, and he lets everybody know about that as often as he can. His father is an attorney, and so he really wants to follow in his father's footsteps. Bane, who is extremely witty, he loves to surf. His family is originally from Hawaii. They're living elsewhere now. Bane's father is in the Navy, and so he has intentions on following his father. Milani, I'm not going to give it away because you'll have to read the book.
Yes.
She wants to be 100 things when she grows up.
Okay.
And so she's constantly changing her mind, which is why in her Blue Magic sketchbook, right, she's charting out ideas, and then her and the company spend time exploring those ideas in really creative ways.
I love it. And the company is so cute. Like they're a crew, they're a little company. I love it. Yes. So cute. Okay. So how can they get the book? How can folks get the book?
Yes. So the book will be available later on this month. It will be available in time for Christmas.
Okay.
The website.
The
website is www.malani, MALIN, Rose MelaniRose.com. That's MALANIROSE.com.
I love it. Oh
Yes.
man, this is all so exciting. I personally am so honored to witness this for you, what you are doing for our
Thank
community,
you.
for our young people. This is so great. I can't wait to purchase books for the youngins in my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this. Before we go, I just want to give a few shout outs to a few folks who said hi to us in the comments. I want to say hi to Teresa. Thank you for joining us. Erica, thank you for joining us. And Lauren, thank you for calling us phenomenal.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. All right. So we're not going to talk your head off. We're almost to the end here, folks. So before we go, I really want to just hear any wisdom that you want to leave us with.
Yes.
Something that you want us to take with us as we walk away from this conversation, something that says like, you know what, if you didn't get anything else, I want you to get this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My hope is that people believe in the mission of this work. I mentioned the other day, my daughter's like, Mommy, you have more than 400 followers. And I said that's great. I'm happy that people are following the mission of the organization, right? Really, I'm hoping to create leaders in their community, leaders in their home, leaders in their schools, and not followers of me, right? This is my ministry, is to be able to give this work to the world. And so it just brings me so much honor to do so. It is so important as parents, as educators, as community members that care about the kids that are in the neighborhood, that we listen to them. We listen more than we talk. We apply our adult lens to the things that they in their heart feel like they're supposed to do and guide.
Yeah.
And so that's really the hope, right? Is that people will be excited about the mission of the organization and get inspired to take action.
That's good. That is so good. Great words to leave us with. So one more time, tell us your websites, how we can find you, and then we'll go.
That's right. That's right. So again, I can be found at www.terainerbrown.com, and we'll have that available in the chat. The Cultured for College organization is culturedforcollege.com. And the Melani Rose book series released hot off the press today. A special shout out, just real quick, to my fantastic graphic designers. We've got David Anderson of the 7 brand, and also Marlon Hines from Siraki. They have done some phenomenal work. And so those are my my websites. And then social media, you can follow me at Dr. Terainer Brown. And so you'll be able to get to all the work that I do right from there. Real quick, Blair, you were giving shout outs. I know my mother-in-law, so Teresa Amos, that is my mother-in-law. And then of course, my lovely mother, who shows up to everything I do since I was a child, is also listening in. So thank you, ladies, for joining.
We got another comment. Thank you, Joanna, for joining us.
Thank you, Joy.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Great information, Terainer. We are so proud of you, so excited.
Thank you.
Don't forget to get a book.
That's right. That's right. Later on this year, sign up, join the mailing list. I promise to not spam you, but I will be passing along information when Melani, some of her products are already available online, but the book will be out later on this month.
All right. We can't wait. We'll be looking out for that announcement.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. See you later. All right.
All right.
That was so good.
That was good.